Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Edd Kimber, the boy who bakes, and today's recipe is going to be a little bit different. If you follow me on social media, then you already know that I have been challenged by KitchenAid to come up with something that is truly unique and something that is inspired by their brand new mixer, the limited edition black tie mixer, which is an entirely black KitchenAid. So every little bit of it is black, even the attachments are black. It's really, really beautiful. So the recipe needed to be something that reflected the mixer. So something iconic, something unique, and something that is truly black. So what I've come up with is exactly that. It's a take on something that we all love, something nostalgic from our childhood, the classic donut made with a beautiful brioche dough. But we're gonna color that with black bamboo powder, and then we're gonna fill it with a delicious chocolate custard. It's really unusual, but it looks beautiful and impactful. And actually, using the mixer, it's really easy to make. So to make our donuts, what we're gonna need is some bread flour and some salt, some dried yeast, some light brown sugar, unsalted butter, and then some eggs and milk. And then of course, we're also gonna need what's gonna turn our donuts black, which is bamboo charcoal powder, which is really easy to get online. So first thing we need to do is take our beautiful, beautiful mixer, and then we're going to add to it our flour, salt, sugar, and yeast. And then just mix that together just to combine everything nice and evenly. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is just add our milk and our eggs. Just pour that straight in, like that. And our black bamboo charcoal powder, which is this incredibly dark and black powder. And we're just gonna mix that together until it starts to form a shaggy dough, and then let it knead for about 10 to 15 minutes until it's really smooth, elastic, and it's pulling away from the sides of the mixer. So now that our mixer has been going for about 10 minutes, we have this incredibly dark but beautifully elastic and stretchy dough, which means we can start to add the butter. Now, this is a brioche dough, it's an enriched bread dough, which a lot of people think is incredibly difficult to make. But that is the benefit of using a KitchenAid. We can basically whack all of our ingredients into the bowl and let the mixer do all the hard work for us. So actually, this is quite straightforward. So what we're gonna do, turn the mixer back on, and then literally add the butter, slowly adding it a couple of pieces at a time, and then continue to knead it for another 10 minutes or so until it becomes nice and elastic again, and it's again pulling it away from the sides of the bowl. So once our dough has been going for about 10-15 minutes, we end up with this incredibly stretchy and shiny dough, which is exactly what we're looking for. So now that our dough is made, we just need to let it rest, and there's two ways of doing this. So either we can put it in a bowl, leave that at room temperature, and leave it for an hour or so, or if you want to make this dough the night before you want to fry these donuts, you can actually pop it in a bowl, cover it in cling film, and then pop it in the fridge overnight where it'll slowly rise and should be ready in about 8 to 10 hours. So what you can do is lightly flour the surface and then take the dough, which is very sticky, just take it off the mixer and just scoop it up, this beautiful stretchy black dough. And then what we're gonna do is just bring it together in a ball like that, and then pop that into our lightly greased bowl, cover it in cling film, and I'm gonna leave that at room temperature for an hour, and we'll come back to it when we're ready to form our donuts. So it's been about an hour, and you can see our dough has beautifully risen. It's about doubled in size, so we can now form our donuts. So what we're gonna do is just lightly flour our work surface, turn out our beautiful light risen dough, and then we're going to divide that into 16 pieces and form those into balls. So because when these donuts are risen again, they're going to be super light, we don't want to knock any of that air out. So we're going to take a little square of parchment paper and each donut's going to sit on that. That way when we're ready to fry, we can lift the donut with the paper, not touching it at all, and then just gently drop that into the water, meaning we get a really super light donut. So the easiest way to form our donuts into rounds is just place them on the surface, put your hand over, and then just gently roll them around. And as you do that, it tightens up and forms a really nice tight ball like that. And then all you want to do is lift that up onto our parchment paper and let that sit like that. What we are going to do also is just gently flatten them with the back of our hand, and that's just so we get a slightly nicer shape when they come out of the fryer, so they're not perfectly round. So now that our donuts have spent a lot of time rising, they're really nice and puffy and ready to fry, all we need to do is get a large saucepan, I'm using a wide saucepan, and fill it about half to 3/4 full of oil, and then over a medium heat, heat that to 180 degrees Celsius. Once it's at 180 degrees Celsius, turn the heat to a very low flame so that it doesn't keep getting higher and it just maintains that heat. Now, because these are black donuts, we have to be a little bit careful about the cooking because it's very hard to tell if they're burnt. So stick to the timing, 180 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes per side. And then lift them out of the oil with a slotted spoon, let them drain on some kitchen towel, and then we can toss them in some sugar. For the filling, I have made a chocolate pastry cream, which is made with cocoa powder and chocolate, and the full recipe for that is in the link in the box below. So I put the custard into a piping bag fitted with what's called a Bismarck tip, which is just a long, thin piping tip so that we can add the custard to our donuts. So what we've done is we've just cut a slit in the donut down into the middle, and then we're going to press the filling in until you can feel it kind of popping out of the donut like that. Just what we want, a really nicely filled donut with lots and lots of chocolate. So that's how you make a black charcoal donut filled with a delicious chocolate custard, all inspired by the brand new KitchenAid black tie mixer. To get inspired yourself and to find the full recipe, click on the link below to visit the KitchenAid website. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to give this a go. That's so good.